Hey guys, welcome back to the TohirT channel. Tahir is here. I hope you had a fantastic week. It was a week. It was a little bit tiring. It was a lot going on here in the United States. First week we actually worked from home and the kids were at home, so you can imagine how busy it was. And with that said, on the positive side, I, as many other people, do start thinking about, okay, what are the ways by which I can shorten this time that we're gonna have to stay at home? And one of the best ways to do it is dig into your backlog of the TV shows and movies that you haven't touched while you were busy in that day-to-day commuter life. A lot of us are using the streaming services, but in the day where you want to be budget conscious, you don't want to spend money on 10 different streaming services, and in the day where there's so many other choices out there besides just a single platform that you could use, so which one do you pick? Well, in this video I'm going to share my experience from subscribing to Netflix, Hulu, HBO Now. Yeah, HBO Now. There are like 3 of them I'm going to talk about. Disney Plus or Amazon Prime. Which one should you pick? Which one should you drop? We'll find out. Let's do this. Don't ask me how, and yes, I know it's not necessarily the most financially responsible decision, but somehow throughout the period of time, I ended up subscribing to all of these subscription services that I just mentioned, and by period of time, I mean now, I am still subscribed, so this is kind of like my way of also figuring out and making a decision which one I want to drop, because I want to save some money, I want to drop at least one of them. And well, it's also a tough decision because out of all the ones that I've mentioned, so out of Amazon, Hulu, Disney, Netflix, and HBO, only 2 are pure standalone plays, in this case Netflix and HBO. The other ones usually come bundled with something else. In case of Disney and Hulu, they actually bundled together, and they bundled with an ESPN Plus, which also great if you want to feed, like myself, your UFC craving or some other sports craving, where Amazon Prime, well, it comes with Amazon Prime, so it's not a pure play when it comes to streaming. You actually get it with all the other services that Amazon just throws at you when you subscribe to their Prime level. And well, although it was a financially irresponsible decision to subscribe to all of them at the same time, I do think it puts me in a great position to advise you on which ones you should subscribe to if you're still trying to make a decision, or which ones you should drop if you're also trying to make the decision like I do. And I almost rank them in my head from the ones where, hey, we need to binge this right now, through, hey, let's just play something in the background, all the way down to, where is this cancel subscription button? Let's face it, I have time right now maybe to watch and binge some of the shows from one of them. I do not have time to cover all 5 of them, so it's time to make that tough decision. The format that I'll use in this video is very simple. I'll list every single one of them and I'll talk about a 1 or 2 pros and cons for each and every single streaming service. And well, we need to start with the grandfather of them all, with the first and only Netflix. Netflix started and went way past that moment in time when they used to just ship you DVDs in the mail. That was their value proposition at the very beginning, and they slowly transitioned into licensing a bunch of content from other companies to very smartly, strategically starting to develop their own content. And well, when it comes to pros, the clear pro in that section is the fact that Netflix has the most unique collection of media. They have different kind of content. Their own Netflix original content is amazing, whether it's a stand-up comedies, whether it's some cooking shows, whether it's movies and TV shows. And the licensed content that they got is pretty darn good as well. They've for a long time actually licensed a lot of the Disney's, Marvel, and some of the other like Lucasfilm collections. They're slowly gonna lose it over time, but at the end of the day, Netflix has that breadth that can cover every single family member's taste. In the cons column though, the fact that you have to find something in that selection, it's crazy. They need to do something about the UI, I think, because the amount of time we find ourselves just like mindlessly scrolling through their list minute after minute, and it's like 20 minutes in, you're still trying to make a decision. Me and my wife would argue back and forth about the kind of movie we want to watch, and you just end up getting stuck on watching some older content just because you know at least it works for both of you and you're not ready to commit to something new completely. So yeah, that's the worst Netflix has for you. Disney Plus. I need to learn how to pronounce Disney. I still think I pronounce it with such a Russian accent. Disney. I know, I'm sometimes pronunciation challenged. Anyway, Disney Plus is actually a relatively young offering. We're going from the oldest to the newest member on this playing field. From the moment they pitched this idea, it was very clear that Disney just wants to combine all of their properties under a single streaming service. And well, the process, the fact that you have access to all the Disney content, you get to choose anywhere between Marvel, Lucasfilm. You get to pick some of the Fox acquisitions like Simpsons that they made. There's National Geographic in there as well, and a lot of Disney old school classic, Pixar, Disney collections that they developed for the TV and now showcase here. So there's a lot. If you've been in that environment as a kid growing up and watching some of those shows like Spider-Man or Gargoyles, or if your kid have watched Disney Channel originally, yes, they're gonna all enjoy it. This makes it a great offering for the family with kids. The cons, you get access to only Disney content. Yes, Disney is a great company, it's huge, it's a big conglomerate, they own a bunch of properties, they keep acquiring different media outlets, but at the end of the day, their vertical within what they've acquired is great and super deep, and you get a lot of content with it, but you will not find your next Game of Thrones show there, at least not right now, not under the current strategy, and that is the cons you should consider. Hulu. Hulu is a very interesting character, primarily because as a standalone service back in the day, they had interesting content, yet they never stood out from the pack. But recently they got acquired through the Fox acquisition by Disney, and now they're a younger cousin to Disney Plus, and younger meaning from the importance of the content that they carry. Does it change things right now? Not necessarily. Does it change things in the future? I think most definitely, because there's a very strong probability Disney Plus will remain the kids-friendly, family-facing outlet for the streaming, where Disney will use Hulu as more of an adult-facing, where they're going to place more of adult content, or at least 16 and up kind of content. That directly plays into the pros. The pros of Hulu is that it's a great bundle choice. Hulu carries a lot of interesting content that you will not find on other streaming services, so it makes it very complementary to carrying in other streaming services alongside of them, and that is why that bundle with Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, and Hulu is so attractive. Cons? Well, it's hard to justify Hulu as a standalone service. I really would not have paid for it. I paid for it once last year when on the year prior Black Friday, they had a sale for $1 a month service, which I was like $12 for a year. Yeah, fine, I'll subscribe to it. And the only reason I kept it afterwards was the fact that I subscribed to Disney Plus, ESPN, and Hulu bundle altogether. Other than that, if you want to buy it standalone, you're probably better off spending money elsewhere. Amazon Prime or Amazon Video Prime, I always forget how exactly they refer to them. Essentially a streaming service that went from the gimmick kind of offering to actually carrying a few interesting shows under their belt, and that is a pros. The content that they carry, although very limited, they do have some interesting shows like Wonderful Mrs. Merzel, again, pronunciation challenge, or The Boys. So you get The Boys, you get 2-day free shipping from Amazon. Hey, sign me up for it. In the cons section, that's another subscription service. A, I'm not even sure you can buy it standalone. I'm pretty sure you cannot buy it standalone. But B, even if it would have been a standalone offering, I would not have recommended to spend money on it. You're much better spending it elsewhere. Again, very similar to how Hulu is. But in the world where they bundle it with Amazon Prime, you should not be really expecting too many things from it in terms of leaps of progression as a streaming service. But hey, it's included in the Prime subscription, so why not? HBO Now. Now let's get it straight. HBO Now is a streaming service, a standalone streaming service that you can subscribe online and watch through the website on your gaming console, and that's it. But it's not necessarily an HBO Go, which is a subscription service that you get with your TV subscription when you get the HBO TV channels through your TV subscription service, right? All your cable stuff, that's where you get HBO, and with that you get HBO Go. And then there's HBO Max, which is not HBO Now and not HBO Go, and HBO Max is essentially the new service that they're about to launch later this year. Yeah, not confusing at all. Well, the pros of that service is HBO, if you would compare it to Netflix is like this volume player. It like keeps trying to punch you and evade you and punch you, and I know it's terrible reference if you don't watch the UFC or any mixed martial arts, but they essentially try to just overwhelm you with their amount of content, where HBO is like one of those fighters who try to like measurably find that opportunity and just boom, get you out with one shot. Game of Thrones, humongously successful show coming from the HBO. Sopranos. HBO always shoots for the stars when it comes to the content. They want to make that next big thing. Watchmen was a great show, did not necessarily reach that peak of a Game of Thrones, but still was an amazing show. They went ahead, they created True Detective, which is still pretty solid offering. So they keep trying. And the pros section is that their shows will continue being on a one-off basis amazing. You will find amazing content that everyone's going to be talking about, but then there are going to be gaps sometimes up to a year between the next show of the same level. And the cons is that out of all the offerings that we're discussing here, HBO really has the least amount of unique content. They have some interesting movies. They do premiere some major movie theater releases on HBO channel. That's awesome. But I think as a standalone offering, again, it suffers the most from the lack of content. Now it's time to choose. Which one would I pick if I would have to select only one streaming service? I think that's an easy one, Netflix. You have to pick Netflix as your single streaming service, primarily for the fact that they have so much content that fits the entire family. When it comes to someone like Disney Plus, if you want to pick just Disney Plus, the challenge there will be that you're primarily servicing kids, or if you're really that into Marvel and Pixar movies, which both are amazing. I love them personally, every single one of them, but it only goes so far. Where with Netflix, I'll be able to find something for my mother-in-law, for my parents, for my sister, for myself, for my wife, and for the kids. So this is amazing. Plus they have content in a bunch of different channels. Plus you can concurrently watch it, I think with up to 6 people on certain accounts, which I have the one that I can have multiple streaming at the same time going on, and it's amazing because I can watch something else, my wife can watch something else, my sister in Dubai can watch something else completely. If I have a little bit of extra money and I want to add another streaming service, I'd rather add 3. By that I mean I would subscribe to the Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, Hulu bundle. Yes, Hulu comes with advertising. ESPN, you really need to be into sports, but I feel like the price differential there well worth for you to pick up all of them, because with that I think you're also catering to maybe more specific tastes when it comes to kids if they're really into the Disney characters and the Disney shows and Pixar shows, and the ESPN gives you a sports buff, something to chew on, while Hulu blends in and throws some interesting things like Handmaid's Tale or the Remy is actually an awesome show that I spoke about in one of my prior videos. So with those combined with Netflix, you really get a ton of content to digest and go through, and I feel like for the next few weeks while you're under the lockdown, you'll definitely have plenty to watch. And well, now it's the time to say which one I drop. Kind of tough one, but kind of the one I thought I already kind of like it was foretold, let's put it that way, and it's HBO Go, Now, Max, whichever one of those you currently have. The reason being, A, it's a content, it's very limited. B, from the shows that I really come back and watch every week, last week tonight, they post everything on YouTube anyway, so I don't necessarily even have to have the subscription service. And for those TV shows that especially run in the seasons, it's hard for me to justify keeping like the entire subscription for a year just to watch it one episode at a time. With my schedule, I think sometimes it's just better for me to drop the subscription, which I think I'll do, then wait until Westworld Season 3 ends, and then I'll go and binge the entire season 3 under 1 month subscription, drop it and wait for whatever the next show will come back to justify that monthly subscription. But I think out of all of them, it's very hard for me to justify paying for just that one. And as I mentioned before, Amazon Prime probably would be the primary video streaming services I drop, but because I need that 2-day shipping and would buy a ton of things for a house to get delivered to our neck of the woods, well, it's impossible for me to drop Amazon Prime. So naturally, HBO Go, Now, Max. Go Now, Max. Bye-bye. Stupid. Yeah, that wasn't a fun joke, but you get my idea. Did you find this video useful? Do you think you're gonna pick up or drop one of the subscription services? And are there other subscription services that I did not mention on this channel that you think are worth picking up? Let us know and share your ideas in the section below. In the current situation that we're all facing, I am all about finding positives, and what better positive it is than getting together with your family in the living room, getting some popcorn, arguing about which movie you're gonna watch, landing on Toy Story 4 or Frozen 2, because kids, yeah man, good times. Thank you very much guys for stopping by. If you're new to this channel, go ahead, hit the subscribe button and check out the videos in the backlog, and if you're already a subscriber, thank you very much for stopping by. As always, let me know in the comment section below what you thought about this video, and I will see you all next Saturday, 10 AM Eastern, on this very channel. Another way by which I'm taking advantage of this extra time at home, house projects. There are a few things I actually need to do like in this area. You don't want to see sometimes what are the boxes and things that are laying around of this clear view that I created for the channel, plus the room that I'm currently using as a home office nearby. It also needs a little bit of cleaning because it's actually storage, so I kind of need to clean the background so I can use the webcam to show my face to my co-workers, because in the next few weeks they're gonna forget how I look. Yeah, those are the small things that we have to worry about right now. Other than that, stay safe, wash your hands, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.